Hey there, welcome to your push lesson. I think you get it at this point. Moneyball's Merritt back again. Going to talk a little bit of screening, assessment, before we actually get into the movements themselves. So when it comes to programming pushing for our clients, any kind of pressing, we're looking at shoulder mobility and the trunk stability push-up when it comes to the functional movement screen. So shoulder mobility, really we just want to see how the shoulders are moving. If someone's like, that's all I got, we know they're not moving too awesome. If someone is moving pretty well and they're pretty symmetrical, okay. Now, the next thing that we also look at is the trunk stability push-up. So obviously the trunk stability push-up is not a traditional push-up. For the guys, we're setting them up with their arms outstretched so that their thumbs are all the way up by the top of their forehead. They're gonna get nice and tight from there. They're gonna try and press straight up and back down. If they can't do that, they're gonna go at the chin. And for the ladies, they're gonna start at the chin. If they can't get that, they're gonna come down to the collarbone. So it's not so much a test of push-up, because that's not where we'd actually set people up to do a push-up. So if they aren't passing that, does that mean that they're not ready to do push-ups? Not necessarily. What that means is that they're actually lacking the core strength to be able to maintain their middle and press up from there. Or it could just be a true strength deficit. But what we want to do is see, can they maintain a tall and tight position in a plank? So we go to the push-up position plank and just see if they can hold. And if they can do that, then we just look at an eccentric push-up. Just lower yourself down all the way to the floor, slow and controlled, and see how that looks. If they can do that, then I'm comfortable moving on, okay? Going back to the shoulder mobility screen, let's say someone's shoulders just are not moving, right? Does this mean that there's just going to be big X's all over their program, can't do anything, pushing, pulling? Also no, but we want to get more curious about what's going on there. So we can use CARS as an assessment. We can go ahead and look and see what happens in their midsection, what happens at their shoulder as they try and make a complete circle, especially paying attention when they're in that overhead position. Then using all of the information from these assessments, one being that their shoulders weren't so well on the shoulder mobility screen, we can do things to work on their shoulder mobility. Using the CARS and the trunk stability push-up, we can decide about doing horizontal pushing versus overhead pushing. And then everything that Todd and I are about to show you is going to help you to put these people in the best positions to be successful. But we screen these things to get some information about how people look in different positions so that we can make those decisions.
Welcome back to Two Awkward Redheads in a Gym. In this episode, we're going to talk about quarter jack knee squats and wiggles, and how Chris actually impregnated a woman, because that's a mystery to a lot of us. Anyway, the fact that she actually had sex with him, I think, is the first. Let's get through that. We'll unpack that later. First, let's talk about push-ups, because this is actually the pushing lesson. So here's the deal with push-ups. Actually, let's do this. Hold on for a second, I'm gonna talk. We're gonna walk through push-ups, dumbbell bench press, board presses, bench press, landmine press, and then kettlebell or dumbbell overhead presses, okay? We lost Chris, so it's just you and me now. Let's have a personal moment. Don't say anything about what I just told you. So push-ups. Chris is gonna get down in the down push-up position. Cool. Here's what we're gonna work on with push-ups. Is that good? Yeah, it's really good. First thing to keep in mind is that a push-up is a moving plank. So that tall and tight position that we keep with everything else is very important here. The next thing we're gonna keep in mind is we're gonna have our hands cutting our shoulder blades in half. That's where we wanna be for a good push-up position. So that way, our shoulder blades can actually wrap around our rib cage, and we can actually hold a good stable position. If we're back too far, you can move your feet too, please. Our shoulder blades aren't gonna move, because we're gonna mess up the relationship between our shoulder blade and our actual glenohumeral joint. So we need to be a little farther forward so they can move together. Also, go ahead and pull yourself down to the bottom position, Chris. If you notice, that's the good position that we wanna be in for a bench press, for a row, for anything like, why are you shaking?
I'm just resting my hat on the floor.
You're shaking a lot. All right, rest for a second. So we got to pull ourselves forward, not quite like into like a gymnastics planche type position, But we want to get so our hand is cutting our shoulder blade in half. So that way as we come down, our elbow goes to a good position and our shoulder blades will actually move on our rib cage. Chris, you do another one? Money balls? If you can muster it up there, their shaky graves.
Should have drank one of those Bang energy drinks.
Banging, banging. Go on. He's pulling himself down, he's driving himself away. At the top, he's not letting this sag. He's driving himself away. So we don't want that. Pull yourself down, drive yourself back up. Cool. That is the push-up. Cool. We're gonna go to dumbbell bench press now, okay? Now, here's the thing with dumbbell bench press. We want those same angles that we push and pull from. So a lot of times, people end up in here when they do a dumbbell bench press, and what happens? As they come down, they run out of room to move their shoulder blade, and shut up, and the humerus kicks forward in the shoulder joint, so we're actually just wrenching the hell out of our anterior shoulder capsule. So we want to keep this kind of an angle when we're doing dumbbell bench press. It's where we crawl, it's where we push, it's where we pull. So as we come down, our shoulder blades and shoulder, actually glenohumeral joint, are in a good relationship, and it allows them to move in sync. Otherwise, we get here, people run out of room, they think they need more range of motion, they get here, things kick out, and our shoulders start to get a little wonky. We don't want that. Chris is gonna lay down. Thank you, sir. He's gonna maintain that relationship. Go ahead and press up. He's gonna keep his wrists underneath, the wrists and elbows in a good line. So he's gonna pull straight down. He's gonna go to his armpits to eyeballs.
Armpits?
Armpits. He's gonna press back. Armpits, press back. Good. Maintaining that same relationship. Good, go ahead and relax. But the big thing here is a lot of times as people will grab, they'll get their elbow out and they'll have their wrist cocked at a weird angle, staying nice in this good strong position here, and making sure, like we said, that you're in that position that allows your shoulder blades to move around your rib cage. Cool. Put the goddamn dumbbells down, Chris. All right, moving on. We're going to board press. So he's gonna slide the bench on back on under there. Now he's gonna put this sucker underneath his shirt because I'm not gonna hold it for you. Not a good one. I'm just joking. Watch your chain there, guy. Wouldn't want to mess that up. So he's gonna put it under his shirt because we don't really have anybody to hold it for him. Now, from this position, he's gonna pull out, which he didn't do earlier this year, and he ended up with a kid. Earlier last year, I guess.
2 years ago.
Whatever it is. Pull the bar out. Good. So notice how he gets set up where he wants it. His shoulder blades are pulled down. His elbows are in a good position before he even pulls the bar out. Now he's gonna pull straight down. Good. Press back up. Good, that's actually a little bit too low. I want you to hit right here. Good, drive back up. Now, he doesn't have to really sink into the board. He doesn't really have to sink into the board too much. He just needs to get to it and press back up. We don't wanna play that game. Go ahead and pull it back out again, Chris, and do another one for me. Pull it down, really sink into the board. Let it sink in and rest. Try to pull into the board. We don't need this. Okay, we just want to give contact with the board to maintain range of motion. Good, press it back out. Good. So that way, if you're sinking into the board or if people are sinking into the board, they're gonna relax somewhere and it's not gonna end up good, okay? So the big thing here, and this will just walk you through a general bench press too, he's gonna get tight, he's gonna push up to the bar, he's gonna drive his feet through the floor. Do you see how his shoulders were already set where they need to be? He pulled the bar straight out, come down, drive back. So here's the thing about a bench press path. It's not straight. You're not gonna come, pull your hands out. He's not gonna come, make fists for me, straight down, and then press straight back up, because look how far that takes the weight away from his joint. He's gonna come down, and he's gonna press back, because we wanna get back over top of that joint. So if you take an unloaded barbell, or a broomstick, or like a body bar or something, and you go back and forth like this, you're gonna find a spot where it's weightless. That weightless spot is where you start and finish. So he's gonna pull down, and then he's gonna drive back to that weightless spot. Cool? Now we're gonna pull that board out of there. So if you have people that have a hard time controlling the extension in their shoulders, or just have bad shoulders, but you feel like you need to press them with the barbell somehow, maybe they need more upper body mass, maybe they need to build some strength, whatever it is, the board press can help you do that. It's also good for just overloading different parts of the movement. Now, same setup with the regular bench press. Now you're gonna notice he's in a little bit of extension. This is one of those exercises where tall and tight's not really the deal. But we're not gonna worry about trying to pull our shoulder blades back and do all that kind of stuff. He's just gonna get big, he's gonna push his chest up to the bar, he's gonna break the bar, and he's gonna pull it straight out. Now he's gonna pull straight down to his chest, and he's gonna drive back. Wrists and elbows in a good line, driving back. Good. As he's doing that, he's driving through the floor, he's grabbing the bar, he's trying to break it as he pulls it down, and he's driving back. So break, pull, drive, or push is the kind of mantra there. Now here's the thing, as you press the bar back up, you don't want to think about pressing the bar away from you. You want to think about pressing yourself away from the bar so your shoulders stay packed in a good position and you're actually driving yourself into the bench and maintaining a stable platform. Because a lot of times when you think about pressing the bar away from you, you end up flattening out and losing that good shoulder position that you need for a bench press. Cool? Now, we are moving on to the landmine press, which is the bridge between horizontal and vertical pressing. So we do it from a few different positions. We usually have people start in half kneeling because it's an easier position to control your extension and the rest of your body. So Chris is going to get in a good half kneeling position, tall and tight. He's going to start. Notice how at his hand and the bar, there's a 90-degree angle. That's where you want to be. That's how you know you're in a good starting position. And from there, he's going to press straight up. That's really it. And he's going to come back down. But to know that your body's set in the right position, the right angle, you're going to find that 90-degree angle. Now, he's going to work to his feet and do it standing. Same deal, 90-degree angle, press out. It's really that simple. If you don't have one of these fancy-dancy landmine things like we have, you can just put a barbell in a corner or something, or put it under a couple of dumbbells or something like that.
Nobody puts barbell in corner.
Oh my God. I quit. Sure. All right, good. Do it again. I want you to see it. I want to see you do it again. Good. Yeah, do another one. Yeah, tell me about it.
It's lubricated. It slides so well.
It does slide well, doesn't it? Tell your friends. Anyway, we're going to move on to kettlebell or dumbbell overhead pressing. Right after he does some stupid shit. He's going to start in half kneeling. He's going to sit the back of the dumbbell pretty much right on top of his shoulder. Now notice how he presses up. His elbow rotates out. If he pressed straight up, he'd run out of room. His shoulder blade doesn't have anywhere to go. But as he rotates his elbow out, which is how the arm is naturally going to move, it gives his shoulder blade room to rotate up and stay out of and not run out of room. So if he presses straight up, notice how it, go ahead and press straight up without going out, he can't get back there. He has to try to force it. Whereas if he rotates out, his shoulder blade's naturally going to rotate. And it's the same process for standing. And really you can do dumbbell half kneeling, kettlebell, dumbbell or kettlebell half kneeling presses, either contralateral, ipsilateral, both are fine.
The advantage to this side is that you're here.
You can transfer to a get up. Yeah, that would be the advantage of doing it ipsilaterally. Cool? Word. I think that's it. Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's it. You're great. You guys are all great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's Mr. Superman's not here. No.